Hello and welcome to another video. If I'm looking particularly sweaty, it's because I've already done 10 miles in the blazing heat. So yeah, we're having a whiz through Stapleford Woods, out for what's probably going to be about 16-17 miles. Just a nice sunset, golden hour ride. Well, I debated coming here, but I'm glad I did. It's nice and quiet, cool in the trees. Not many people around, just a few people out walking the dogs now that it's a bit cooler. But yeah, never quite sure, coming somewhere quite remote when it's later in the evening as well by myself, but it's so beautiful. It's difficult to resist. So I'm in Stapleford Woods in Newark, not the Stapleford out towards Nottingham. The landscape here has changed quite a bit. They've done, I think it's Forestry England or whatever it is, have flattened all this behind me. This was all dense forest, but they've been doing a lot of work. Last time I came through here it was really muddy, but it's all nice and dry now. Beautiful evening. No idea the significance of leaving this stump. It's a little bit frustrating. The whole piece of the landscape's changed down there, or the shape of the landscape, and I didn't recognise the path that I usually go down because it's usually kind of through forest, and one side of the forest's completely gone, so it's just like open. But it brought me out where I recognise, but it's another bit you probably can't really see and not in this mode, but it's kind of all overgrown again, like thorns and nettles, which this time of year when you are in shorts and t-shirts, a little bit frustrating. I'm not going to stop long here because I came past some guys that were running out and saying it was full of mozzies in here, and I can hear the buzzing around, and I have had some really nasty bites here before, which I think were probably horseflies. Like came up like just enormous, like on the verge of having to go and get antibiotics. So but yeah, it's really lovely and quiet, really peaceful through here. I've seen a couple of people, like I say, out walking their dogs, but yeah, just beautiful. Yeah, and the other thing about when it's all overgrown and you're cycling into the sun, it's very difficult to see where you're going, which isn't great, but hey ho. So I've got a bit of a rattle on my bike and I can't figure out where it's coming from. Tightened everything up that I think it could be. I guess it could be my torch knocking against my head unit. It sounds like it's coming from the back, but I can't figure it out. Everything seems to be tight. So we're going to move on. I'm going to go back through some villages and come back round the forest, miss this bit and then possibly go back through the bit that we came into. It's like a forest of two halves. But yeah, beautiful evening, and I was in that place where you're sort of debating whether you push yourself out or not, and I'm glad I went for it. It's absolutely sunny. It's been cloudy on and off all day, and I like a sunset ride. I think for me it's just really peaceful, and I'm not somebody who has a religious faith, but it's kind of a spiritual experience for me, kind of being out at sunset and the colours and the warmth and everything like that. It just feels really special and gives you that sense of being part of something bigger. Right, we'll get a move on before I get eaten to death. I'll catch up with you a bit further round.
Like that.
It's now my favourite time of day, golden hour. And we've just, I don't know how many flies I've swallowed now. We've come through the other part of the forest, come round, and we're going back towards the first part that I came into. Absolutely beautiful, barely seen a soul. Oh, it's just so quiet and still. But yeah, one of the things that I wondered, I had a conversation with my wife earlier about it, because of the time of year it is and because it's lighter later and it's cooler later. I prefer to come out at this time of night because I can get some nicer photos and things like that. But there's always, as a lone female, that thought always in the back of my mind about where I'm going, the route that I'm going to take and whether it's safe. You know, and that was something I was thinking about tonight. Like the route that I did a couple of nights ago, I went down the River Trent bank, and there were loads and loads of guys out fishing, and there's that thought that goes through your mind, like, are they far enough away that I can fly past? You know, can they tell my gender from where they are? You know, do they think I'm a bloke? Do you know, if they did start to come up, can I pedal fast enough to get away? And then, like, coming through the woods, am I safe? What's my exit strategy? I have come through the woods before, and this guy was stopping me to ask if I'd seen a dog and keep a lookout for this dog. And again, in the back of my mind, this guy's probably lost his dog, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is this a ruse to get me to stop? So that he can do whatever he wants to do. Like the other night, earlier in the week, going down the National Cycle Network, the cycle track, there's the guy sleeping under a bridge. I'd been down and past him a couple of nights in a row. I'm thinking, this guy now knows my routine, that I go down and I come back. So I'm going to go down, go past him, and then go down the main roads. So I feel safer sometimes at night on a main road than off-road, because I'm less likely to run into anybody where I'm kind of stuck and I've got no exit. And so I think, you know, talking to women, all women have these thoughts most days about whether they're going to be safe, whether they're somewhere isolated. It impacts where they go, whether they go. And I just genuinely wondered whether any guys have those thoughts, whether you kind of worry about kind of confrontation, somebody, whether they're out looking for a fight, whether somebody's going to nick your bike and sort of try and mug you, or whether you'd kind of just go out. And the other thing is, you know, like in cycling, you meet a lot of people, there's this community around it, and people inviting you to go out for rides and things like that. And again, I'm a lone female, and if a guy invites me out on a ride, there's always, you know, as much as I would like to think, you know, I want to go out and have a good time, there's always that thought in the back of my mind as, you know, am I going to be safe? And if I do go out, I'm telling people where I'm meeting, I'm giving their contact details, their social media, I'm trackable through devices, I've got check-in times, all that kind of stuff, just to go out and meet somebody for a ride. So yeah, I don't want to kind of be really negative or down about it. I think it's, you know, it is just a reality for women. But yeah, just wondered if there are any guys out there who have a similar experience with that. Right, onwards. I'm absolutely soaking and wetter than an otter's pocket. So let's get some wind moving past. I know what the other thing was I was going to tell you. So yesterday I decided to cycle a mile into town because it was Friday, it was busy, we've got a couple of sinkholes in town and I thought it would be quicker. So I said that in my last video that I'd won a photography competition. I'd won a £50 voucher. So I went to Halfords and I bought some sealant and I bought myself a new drinks bottle. And so I got those on my way back and some arsehole ran me off the road. So it was very narrow, a lot of traffic coming through because of the sinkholes, just quite a narrow two-way road, cars parked down one side. I had right away and was in action when the other car approached and could have pulled in and let me pass, but decided to keep coming. and actually forced me off the road because there wasn't enough room for the two of us. And then the car behind, while I was half on and off the pavement, the car behind followed through. What's that about? Absolutely fuming. And you know, I'm a law-abiding cyclist. I don't do anything stupid. I try and wear colours that make me seen. I have lights to make me seen. I follow the rules of the road. I wait at traffic lights. I pull out of the way if I'm on a narrow road and there is stuff coming that's going to be held up by me. So when people treat me like that, it really boils my blood. Those guys in the pink shirts, I thought it was a cycle club. When I heard them approaching, they were being really rowdy, and as they came past they were really, really rowdy, and they were going some. I caught up with them by the end, but I could smell alcohol as I got closer, and they pulled in. I don't know whether they were doing some kind of charity event or something. They pulled in at a pub which seemed to be the finish. There were cars waiting for them, and one guy tried to get off his bike and fell backwards into the hedge. So yeah, don't drink and drive, kids. Make a prick of yourself in front of your mates. Well, that's it, nearly done, nearly home. I did pop back home, have a couple of crumpets and pop out again in case the sunset was any good, but it wasn't. So that's it for another one. I'll see you next time.